Live now.
Yeah.
Live now, here we are on the Steve Austin Show. Here for our very, very, very delayed review of Double or Nothing
Very.
2024, 2 weeks after the fact. There were quite a few reasons why, but here we are, finally, to talk about it. So, as you remember, Regan won the Predictions Championship at King and Queen of the Ring. So going into Clash at the Castle, he is the champion. Therefore, the predictions for Double or Nothing were a number one contenders match. And there was 1 point in it. I got 9.5 points. And you got 10.5 points.
Say again?
I got 9.5, you got 10.5.
Fucking let's go.
Yep, so it means that at Clash at the Castle the first
It's not the
time...
first AEW one I've won, because it feels like I've not won any of the AEW ones.
Maybe. I can't remember.
You normally beat me out by like 1 or 2 points.
Yeah. Yep. So that means for the first time...
Close.
For the first time at Clash at the Castle, I will not be contending. I will not be predicting.
You can just enjoy it.
I'll be the CM Punk in this scenario.
Are you going to beat up the person who wins when they
I'll come out.
You?
I'll come out of a bowl of haggis.
My word.
Yeah, well, that's what he said.
Yeah.
That's what he said to Drew. I'll come out of a bowl of haggis. Anyway, Double or Nothing 2024. Yeah. So, I'll give my initial thoughts first. The first thing I have to say is, and this is not necessarily a terrible thing, but I know for some people this is a pretty big sticking point with wrestling. This was a very, very long show.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Now,
4.5 hours.
Yeah,
4.5 hours.
Plus an hour of a pre-show. And I watched it all in one go on the day. I will say, I actually think that the show was really strong, and I think it kind of got away with it. But I did notice when it got like near the end of the show, I was like the last sort of hour, I was like, oh my god, this is going over, isn't it? And it did. It went 4.5 hours. You probably could have cut 1 or 2 matches off the main card. But having said that, I think the majority of this pay-per-view was great. I really, really liked it. I especially liked the TBS title match and the main event, the Anarchy in the Arena. Those 2 matches I thought were excellent. I was very, very happy with how those went, along with some of the others as well. I did enjoy some of the other matches too. But those 2 in particular, I thought were really, really strong in terms of how much I enjoyed them. Yeah, I know that this show was a bit divisive when it happened. Some people loved it, some people were a bit iffy on it. But yeah, for me, this was, despite being extraordinarily long, I really enjoyed this show on the day. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, as you said, this show was very long. This show took me when I say multiple, I mean multiple sittings to get through. Because at the moment, my sort of viewpoint on AEW is I'm just not into the product right now. There's a lot of things I really do like about where they're heading. You know, Strickland as world champion. I think everything the Young Bucks are doing is actually pretty entertaining. And Will Ospreay's having some amazing matches on TV. So, but for me, I'm in a point right now where it's hard to get into these shows because I'm just not into everything. The product, I'm not invested. in comparison to WWE, where I'm actually quite enjoying pretty much everything around that company right now. The show, however, was pretty. It was pretty good. I think the show goes on too long. I think that multiple matches could have been cut or put somewhere else or put on TV and given time. But overall, I would say that this show was good.
Hmm.
That's my initial thoughts.
Yeah, I think this could have been a great show if you made it shorter and cut some of the worst stuff out of it.
Yeah, there's like this. I'm looking at the card. There's a couple matches that are big, but I don't really. I'm as fun as it is. I'm not that bothered about the trios championship. I'm not that bothered about the FTW championship, and they could have done Cassidy and Beretta on TV and given it a good spotlight.
Yeah.
That's my in terms of initial stuff that I think, even in isolation, are very good. Um, I would give them their own spotlights on TV because not everything that they're doing has to be on pay per view, and that's the constant criticism I have of AEW is that everything they do, bar one or two things, it seems like everything just has to be on pay per view. Everybody has to be on the pay per view.
Yeah.
That is of relative stardom.
And the main issue with that is that it means that whilst their pay-per-views have been consistently great to watch, their TV hasn't. Their TV has had good stuff on it, but
Honestly,
it's been.
I've hardly kept up with the TV. To be quite honest, I don't watch Dynamite or Collision anymore.
I watched it. I watched the first one after this pay-per-view. I think I usually watch if I'm watching the weekly stuff. It's usually what will happen is that I might watch one that's before the show. And usually after a pay-per-view I will watch it and then I will see how it goes. It really depends, like, because usually after one of these pay-per-views I'm actually interested to see what it's all about again because I've watched a pay-per-view. And then what I do is I go, right, I'm going to watch Dynamite and then I'm going to keep watching it every week until I stop wanting to. And each show, it kind of changes. This time I only lasted 1 week. It was a decent show, but there's very, very weak marketing in terms of the weekly TV with AEW at the moment. They're not doing a good job at forcing you to actually tune in, as opposed to just catching highlights. In fact, some of my favorite AEW content has actually been on NXT recently, which has been referencing AEW, which has been hilarious.
All the NXT.
Yeah. There's that thing with Cody, Ethan Page, Sean Spears, and Brian Pillman. Or Lexus King, I should say.
Yeah.
That was funny.
I actually haven't even seen anything of Lexus King in like months.
He's in a battle royal.
Oh, is he? Oh, good for him.
Yep.
I mean, I've always liked Ethan Page. I think Ethan Page is great, so I'm glad he's getting
yes, but he did.
Decent.
Yeah, he did lose to Trick Williams, but at least it was a main event.
Yeah,
of a special show.
Trick can be NXT champ for a good couple months. That's absolutely fine.
For sure. So, we had a whole lot of Jeff Jarrett on the pre-show.
Yeah. Oh, was that the panel experts?
Yes.
Part of the pre-show.
Yes, Jeff Jarrett was on it a lot.
Oh, fair enough.
Yep. So we start the pre-show with a losers bracket match. So these are the two women who lost to Toni Storm on pay-per-view recently. You have Thunder Rosa and Deonna Purrazzo.
Yeah.
Because Deonna Purrazzo was Revolution and Thunder Rosa was Dynasty. So now they're facing off because they both lost.
Purrazzo's a heel now, or they both faces that don't like each other?
Purrazzo's a heel.
Oh, when did she turn heel?
Recently.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is a feud that they've been having on TV, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so the frustration of being beaten and then also not getting a second chance is part of what's led her to turn heel, I think. That's what I think I know about it. I don't know
Yeah,
anything
it's a
more.
case that's happened like a million times. Yeah.
Yeah, again, as I say, if I'd watched more TV, I'd be able to tell you more details about it, but that's the overall broad strokes I got from the video packages I saw.
Yeah, I'm sort of getting that from from looking at the match again at 2 times speed. She's very much playing as heel.
Yes. I mean, as expected with Thunder Rosa matches, it was, good in ring stuff. She's very consistent, but like it always with buy-in shows, it is like an episode of Rampage before the pay-per-view, basically.
They're TV matches, and in technicality they kind of are, but yeah, they're built to make you last minute buy the pay per view, and we say this every time. There's only ever in history a couple of pre-show matches that are actually of like pay per view quality,
Yep.
but this was fine. This was fine.
Yep. We got an announcement. This is actually pretty major. Tony Khan announced that the winners of the Owen Hart tournament are going to get world title matches at Wembley.
Yes,
That's huge.
yes, that is massive.
So, given the fact that Will Ospreay is challenging at Forbidden Door, and I would assume he's, or is he gonna? That's gonna be interesting predictions actually, because I don't know if they're gonna beat Swerve this soon. I assume not. Would be a sensible choice, but also you're gonna have Will Ospreay lose this quickly. I really don't know, but it does make me think who is going to win these tournaments and who is going to face those champions at Wembley at All In. I know that Mariah May is in the women's tournament, so she's a possibility. There's been some rumblings about Jamie Hayter recently, though, and she's been out for over a year now.
Over a year, yeah, she's been out for pretty much over nearly a year and a half.
Yep. Yeah, since Double or Nothing last year was her last match.
Yeah.
And that was a match that she was going into injured.
She's been injured for a long time.
Yeah. Nasty shoulder injury, but there's just, I don't know. I don't know. Like, they've been very quiet about her progress. I mean, someone asked Tony Khan recently about her and Britt Baker's injuries, and he said that Britt Baker is like, she's nearing clearance, but they would need to find the right spot for her to come back to. And then they said with Jamie Hayter, it's like the timetable's up in the air. So I don't know if he's lying or what. Like, yeah.
I guess we shall see.
Yeah. In terms of the men's tournament, though, I really don't know who's going to face the champ at Wembley. That's fascinating. One thing I liked about this show they did with the graphics, because it was a triple main event, they basically used the slot machine 3-row thing with the spinners on it for those 3 matches. I thought that was cool.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I always find and this is obviously guilty of WWE as well. Always, whenever they do pay-per-views and they have big matches, they always say, "Our triple main events," when the main event is the last match of the show.
Yeah, what was it? They said to CM Punk, WrestleMania 29, "Oh, you were one of the 4 main events."
Exactly, yeah. They said that the main event is the last match on the show.
Yep. So after that, we got the Acclaimed versus the Gates of Agony.
Sure.
This
was even more TV match.
Yeah, they made jokes about how Toa Leona doesn't wear shoes, I think, is what I remember.
There was one. It's just this match, even more so than the last. It just felt way more formulaic. of
I
a
don't. I actually.
trios pre-show tag match.
I actually don't remember much of this because I wasn't looking at my TV when it was on because I was doing my washing.
Well, there was a mascot that ran into the match, which I'm assuming is
Yes.
a local thing.
Yes, I do remember that, like a sports team mascot. I remember that Bishop Khan looks jacked. That I will, and Billy Gunn and Brian Cage had a muscle off. I remember that happening.
Yeah, they did. Brian Cage is like freakishly massive.
Yeah,
It's insane
I don't.
physique.
I don't know what kind of drug testing they do in that company.
Yeah, hopefully they'll do some.
Yeah, I mean he doesn't have a pimply back like Jinder did, so I don't know about that.
No.
He's got to have some. He's got to be on some kind of magic juice though, surely. Like
Some sort of magic juice.
he used to not
He's
be
been
that.
jabbed like that for like years.
He has been, but there was a period of time where he wasn't. But I struggle to believe that it's just like chicken breast all day. Like I struggle to believe it's
Chicken
just
and
that
broccoli. Yeah,
chicken and broccoli and lifting weights. Like there's got to be some kind of special ingredient in there somewhere. I don't know what it is, whether it's legal or not, but maybe human growth hormone.
But yeah, as expected, this match went the way it did, and
Yeah. So my take on this is that this pre-show had 2 matches. It probably should have had 3 or 4 from the main card. To add 1 or 2 from the main card, put it on here.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon, like, as much as the feud is important to AEW's long history, I think you could have put Cassidy versus Trent on the pre-show.
What is their obsession with having Billy Gunn getting all the pinfalls?
I don't know.
It feels like that.
I don't.
It's such a weird.
Tony Khan's a massive mark. That's the reason.
I feel like this act lost its steam like 8 months ago.
When Tony Khan was a teenager, he watched DX on TV and he was really excited. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. They had a 4-way scissoring though, so that was fun.
Yeah. I think what disappointed me is that usually with some of these AEW pre-shows, they add a match that it impacts the main card, and that's really cool, but they didn't do that this time. Probably one of my favorite examples of that was the that battle royal that Luchasaurus won that Christian Cage used on the main card of World's End. That's like an example of using the pre-show to your advantage.
Yes. Agreed.
So, now we get to the main card.
Double or nothing.
The 4.5 hour fucking longer than Lord of the Rings extended film pay-per-view.
Legitimately, yes. This is longer than any of the Lord of the Rings extended editions.
Yep. But we did start with an absolute slapper of a match. We had, for the international title, we had Roderick Strong versus Will Ospreay.
Roddy Strong. Yeah, just 2 very, very good wrestlers having a really good match.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the scenes of it, Roddy's had a very decent run with the belt. But yeah, it's very surprising that they've given Will a mid-card belt, all in all. I know it's been propped up by a lot by Cassidy's run from last year. But it does seem like an odd choice.
Well, what they've done recently is they've opted to give all of the mid-card belts to top-tier stars.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's been noticed.
So, the TNT title was with Adam Copeland before he got injured. Then you've got the international title with Will Ospreay. You've got the continental title with Okada. And then the TBS title is with Mercedes. So all their mid-card belts have massive... And even then, the FTW title has Jericho, who is still technically a big star. even if what he's doing isn't the best. But what they have done is they've given all the mid-card titles big stars holding them.
Yeah, I don't know. There was at one point, I can't remember his bloody name, but he's one of the United. What's the fucking called? Undisputed Kingdom. That's it. I keep
Well, it's
United Kingdom.
it'll be either Matt Taven or Mike Bennett.
Oh yeah, it wasn't Mike Bennett. He went for a suicide dive and nearly killed himself.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It did not look great. He pretty much did not get any air and pretty much only made it halfway through the top rope.
Yes.
Not great. Yeah, but this match was high-hitting and fast-paced and never let up.
Yeah, unfortunately, for some reason, my internet is having a bit of a shit show at the moment. So as I'm trying to recall the pay per view, it's not in like full. It's like 240p and it pauses a lot. So
No.
you may have to help me out a little bit in remembering some of this show because
some of these matches I watched like last week. So
yeah, I watched them like over 2 weeks ago. It's been ages.
At one point, Wardlow comes in and gets caught by the referee, and I think gets sent away. It was just a lot of really hard-hitting affairs during this.
I remember the finish of this match being really good, actually, with like Ospreay whacking his head into the turnbuckle and then going full like. I love the whole angle they did of like he said, "I'm not going to do that the Tiger Driver anymore," and then Don Callis wants him to do it to win, and he refuses.
Exactly. He is the devil on his shoulder very much, and goads him into going more lethal.
Yep, and it nearly costs him. I think that was probably my favorite bit of storytelling they did.
Yeah, definitely.
It's also a unique angle of having a heel manager with a babyface wrestler.
Yeah, because in the past we've always been very much a heel character in terms of persona. So right now he's been presented as a face, but he still obviously has those tendencies and relationships, which I think is great. I think it's a really good dynamic.
Yeah, he was heel during his New Japan run.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah, this was really, really, really good match. Really good opener.
I think it's made sense to turn him babyface for AEW at the start, and the reason why is because of like, firstly, obviously he's got the most exciting in-ring style ever, as well as the fact that we've established the reasons why he's decided to sign with AEW, the real reasons that he's doing it for, his stepson and his girlfriend. That's like a genuinely really quite nice story to get behind. And also the fact that fans just cheer for Will Ospreay anyway. He's naturally over. And naturally over babyfaces is something that AEW needs at the moment. They have a few, but in this situation, I think having more of them doesn't hurt. But yeah, Roddy got a nice sort of 2-month run with the belt, and now Will Ospreay has it. It's just interesting though, because he's going into Forbidden Door as international champion, and he's challenging Swerve for the world title.
Yeah. That's very surprising.
With the recent news about Ricochet, do we expect the international title to be a rematch between these two at Wembley?
Honestly, that's not a bad idea. If they're not having Will stringing it at Wembley and having Will win, then yeah, I think Ricochet and Ospreay at Wembley would make a lot of sense.
I wouldn't be surprised if they have Bryan Danielson win the Owen and then face Swerve. I think they might do that, to be honest.
Do we know everybody who's in the Owen tournament?
I don't think we know everyone, but we know some of them, for sure. We know that Bryan Danielson's in the men's one, I know that. I think it's possible that Tony Khan might want to put the belt on Danielson before he retires at the end of this year.
Pac, Danielson, and Shingo.
Oh yeah, Shingo's in this. I forgot.
Yeah, those are the announcements. Pac and Shingo were announced last night.
Yep. And I know that Mariah May's in the women's one. I can't remember the others.
Yeah, Statlander, Nightingale, Mariah May.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. I don't know when that's starting because the final was on July 10th on Dynamite.
Yes, it's. I believe there's a specific. I can't remember what Tony Khan said on the pre-show. As I said, this was 2 weeks ago, but there was something about there was like a Dynamite in a place in July where that would happen, which would then give it, it would give them a month or so after that ending of the Owen till Wembley to build up the feuds.
Yeah, if you remember last year's winners were Nightingale and Ricky Starks.
Yes,
Before
Ricky
that, obviously,
Starks.
was Baker and Adam Cole.
Ricky Starks, who I don't think has been on TV since Sting and Darby won the belts off them.
Remember when the first tournament had qualifiers?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Now they don't seem to do that anymore.
Yeah, fascinating. I remember the first tournament, that's when we got Dax versus Cash. That was quite fun.
Yes, we did, and Dax went over.
Yeah. I loved last year's one because that was the whole Collision was brand new, and CM Punk was in. CM Punk versus Ricky Starks was in that tournament. That was a great match.
Yeah, face Kojima, Samoa Joe.
Yeah,
some really good matches.
Good stuff. So, Adam Cole came out to the ring for a promo.
Now I have a question, Connor.
Yes.
Why?
I assume because he's healing up. Like he's going to announce.
He's just like he came out to like as if he was going to say something and then didn't and just said, "I'm Adam Cole." It's really weird setup.
Yeah.
It just felt very strange.
He just said to Tony Khan, "I would like some time in the ring."
He said, "I should be back there with Roderick Strong, helping him heal his wounds or whatever." And so I'm like, so why are you out here? Surely you have a reason, and there wasn't one in kayfabe. It was really weird. Really weird. I noticed it very strangely. But yeah, he was interrupted. There was a vignette that played, and it was revealed that it was Maxwell Jacob Freeman, also known as MJF.
Yep, he's back with his Triple H denim coat
and his Ibiza tan, or wherever the fuck he's been.
Yeah, I understand why having MJF return on pay-per-view is a big deal, but this felt like a Dynamite segment to me. This whole thing.
Yeah, it felt very out of place, weirdly.
This also might be why the show went so long, because they added this.
True. Yeah, just the whole setup with this segment and its placement. Yeah, it's probably a match that definitely could have it's a segment that definitely could have been on Dynamite the next week. Because only he wasn't actually on that Dynamite the following this pay-per-view.
Yeah, he wasn't until the one after.
Yeah, and now he was on last night facing Roosh at the moment, which
he is.
Which in on paper probably isn't that exciting, but I think they're actually doing the best they can with it as a sort of easing Max back in, I guess.
Yeah, it's a. I don't know. I don't really know how to. I guess maybe because recently Roosh hasn't been featured much on TV, so this is kind of.
No, he never really is.
He was going to be a big part of Collision when CM Punk was on it. There were plans for him, and then CM Punk left, and Roosh wasn't a big part of Collision. He was a part, but not a big part.
Yeah. I'm very glad that Max is back, and seemingly I think that was already known since like last year before he even won the belt. He obviously extended his contract. Um,
Oh, he got a tattoo. I forgot about
yeah,
that. He got a
yeah,
tattoo.
he got he got a bet on yourself AEW Double or Nothing theme tattoo.
Yep,
The mad lad.
absolutely. That's crazy.
I know I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, so he said, what did he say? He said that um, there's going to be no more kangaroo kicks and none of that fun shit anymore. It's time for bring
Normal
back the hate.
kangaroo kicks.
Bring back the hate.
Yeah, I can't remember what exactly he said. It was like, no more kangaroo kicks, no more bullshit. Yeah,
People were really
there's no
upset
more
because
bullshit.
people were upset because he referenced WWE. They hate it when he
Oh
does that.
no. Yeah, yeah. Was it? I don't need a. What was he like? He rhymed it with Vince McMahon. What did he say originally?
I don't need a New Japan or a Vince McMahon.
Yeah, that's it. I don't need a New Japan or a Vince McMahon. Yeah. Did you see that tweet? I'm assuming you did. Of the tweet of someone parodying a MJF promo
Yes,
against Ricochet.
yes, I did. I
It's
did see that.
and a lot of people seemingly think that's like a shot at Max when that's just his style of promo. It's very stupid. It's almost as if we've been watching him for 5 years and know his style and vocabulary and how he talks.
Well, it's
It's
also
weird
an
that.
important part of it is also how the other person reacts to it. That's
Yeah,
the part
exactly.
that and that's important. I would fear though, you're putting Ricochet in a promo with MJF. That is a tall
Oh no,
order.
yeah, don't do that initially, please. Just have Ricochet wrestle and cut decent promos. Like
I
he's not a
think.
top guy, but he's a good wrestler.
Are you already locked in to go to Wembley again, or are you still not bought your tickets?
No, not yet. Not yet. I'll probably be up in the nosebleeds this time round.
I see. Well, you may
Mm.
see Osprey versus Ricochet again.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that'll be good if that does happen.
Dave Meltzer will literally he will explode when he sees that match.
It'll explode. It'll be 7.5 stars.
But yeah, great to see MJF
Yeah.
back. There's been
Yes, it
I
is. Glad it's been
I
back.
have seen so much backlash to this though, this return. Like an insane amount of
Shocking.
backlash. This has been like he is it's so funny how we've come full circle because he used to be hated as a heel, but now he's hated like unironically by
As a
Twitter.
face, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. I definitely don't think um how they concluded the devil story helped. That was really shit. Like just and the later because of the Cole injury, the later part of his run wasn't all hitters, unfortunately. Specifically the Full Gear match. Despite there being some good stuff in it, the match definitely suffered um, from its booking. Uh, yeah, but I'm very happy Max is back because he's definitely been sorely missed with his presence and his style.
Yeah, I definitely think I'd probably say that sort of middle part of last year with the Wembley, that was all great. But his best year is probably 2022, I think. That was when he was at his peak.
It's November 2021 to
November
March
20.
2020. Yeah, November 2021 to March 2022. That was for me his best run where that feud with Punk.
I'd say it goes all the way to Full Gear at the end of that year.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, yeah.
Because obviously there's the Punk feud, but then he has the Wardlow feud, then the massive pipe bomb, and then he leaves for a few months.
Yes. Then comes
Um,
back, wins the belt, has some really good
yeah,
matches.
he come the main reason why I say the later part of 2022 is really strong for him is because he had that whole thing with William Regal, which was really
Yes.
really great.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
I think the only blip for him that year was probably the firm, but that was very quickly gotten rid of.
Thank fuck.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Very happy he's back.
So
Next though, we had one of the matches I did not care about at all.
yeah, we had Death Triangle versus the Bang Bang Gang, which again, this should have been this should have been on TV.
Yeah, would have been absolutely fine on TV. Main event of a TV show. Absolutely.
Just do Jay White versus Pac, please. Just do that on pay per view.
Yeah, you could have done that. That would have been good.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, this match was just a lot of things happening, a lot of really good spots, don't get me wrong. Big return of Juice Robinson though.
Yes, that was great. I've missed Juice Robinson. There are rumors that Penta's contract is coming up soon.
Hasn't he been involved with like backstage stuff lately, or am I thinking that's someone else?
I don't know.
I think I saw something somewhere. I don't know if that was that they did a match or something. I can't remember. Anyway, yeah. Penta's a weird one because obviously his biggest run in his career, I would say in mainstream to a certain extent, obviously was Lucha Underground.
Yes.
It's always felt like with Penta that they have just stuck him in the tag team / trios group for like 5 years and have never really felt the need or want to like make him anything bigger than that, which is a real shame because I think like him as a presence and his look can be an absolutely devastating heel mid-carder.
He's certainly a lot more comic booky in AEW. There's not as much. You don't really get any serious feuds with him.
No, I don't think there must be no way he's had an actual like big singles feud.
I don't think so.
Not that like, any that comes to mind.
I mean, there was that period of time when Rey Fenix got injured, I guess.
True.
And he had that match with CM Punk.
Like what? That was like a couple of months, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a couple of months.
Yeah. I really don't have that much to say about this match. I do not give a shit about the Trios Championships.
Yeah.
They are things that are there, and I wish they didn't exist, to be quite frank, but I've said that for months now. So either you have tag teams or trios. That's just me, sorry.
Well, as I've said many times before, trios divisions work better when it's intergender.
Yes, that's definitely a way around it.
Because it means you have a larger roster to play with. But for some reason, mainstream American wrestling just can't commit to intergender. It doesn't like doing it too much. Outside of the occasional Rhea Ripley versus Tozawa, or Nia Jax versus Dean Ambrose.
Yeah. But yeah, after that, because I don't really have much notes from that match. This match between Toni Storm and Serena Deeb.
Yes.
For the AEW Women's Championship.
So yeah, they've turned they have changed things up where now Toni Storm has got heel opponents.
Yeah, she's always been a heel, hasn't she, Serena?
Yeah. Always has been a heel.
Unless very briefly as face, but yeah, mainly has been a heel her whole run.
I think she teased face in 2021, and then she...
That sounds familiar, yeah.
She teased being face and then turned on Sheeta. I remember that.
Yeah. This match, it's this thing with Toni Storm matches. They just feel, compared to even other women's matches on in the company, they just feel slightly more slower paced, but not with like character driven intent. There's a lot of really great hard hitting stuff, and I think Tony Storm is doing just a fantastic job with the character. It does feel at times that if the pacing was just brought up just a tad, I think it'd be a lot more engaging.
I think the one that she had with Thunder Rosa at Dynasty was a cut above all the others.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because Ronda Rousey is like a bloody good wrestler, and so is Tony Storm. Like, but
Thunder,
this match wasn't bad though. This was a decent match.
yeah, I think I expected more from Serena Deeb though, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. That's sort of where my issues lie. It got a bit messy in parts, that's for sure.
Yes, with a constant need to involve Luther and Mariah May does have its bearing.
I did enjoy the finish though, where she just flips her off.
Yes. And after the match, when they got in a big pile on the ramp, that was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I'm much more enthusiastic about what they're doing now, though, with Forbidden Door, because I know this is kind of off topic, but Mina Shirakawa was Mariah May's tag team partner in Stardom, and now she's facing Toni Storm and she's torn between them, and they're doing this whole storyline where it's two women like competing to see who gets to breastfeed their child, which is fucking hilarious.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's the funniest shit. It's like
wow, I didn't realize that was the story.
Yeah, it's like two people competing for that, which is bloody funny. But yeah, this definitely felt like, well, who is the next opponent? We've run out of baby faces, so we'll throw some heels in there now. We'll do Serena Deeb.
Yeah. This felt very much like a placeholder feud in terms of how I'm viewing it, not seeing the TV week to week.
I think again, it's weird because usually with AEW the pay-per-views are where things thrive, but it's funny with Toni Storm. It actually seems like it's the opposite. She's actually the highlight of the week-to-week TV because the lead up to this feud was really funny. The way she stole Serena's robe and then basically took all of her clothes off and only wore Serena's robe, like a dojo outfit. And basically just be like, I've got all my lady parts around your attire, madam. It does seem, though, with each passing month, Toni Storm is ramping up the sexuality of her character on TV. It's getting scary. Scary lesbian pollen. But yes, and as always, the on the media scrum after the show, Toni Storm was great. She did a whole speech, and then she said, "Now this is the part where someone asks me a question, and then I make a I can't remember what noise she made, but she makes like a hissing noise and then walks away."
Very funny.
Yep. So
after that, we had what on paper could have been a big blood feud, because there's very much a lot of story behind it.
There really is a lot. This is actually one of the longest running stories in AEW. So I understand why they wanted to put this on the main card because of that. But I think as a match, look, these guys are cool. Like they're really talented guys. They've been with the company since day one, and this is a homegrown story. But this just feels so mid card though. Everything about this match felt so mid card. The one thing I will say though is I did love the fact that in Orange Cassidy's entrance, because of this feud, he's gone back to the Pixies song, which shows his distressed attitude. I do like when wrestlers have different theme songs for different sides of their character. That is something that I do like, and AEW does a lot of that. Unfortunately, they mostly do it with Chris Jericho, but we'll ignore that. But I like how when Orange Cassidy is on his big heroic run, he uses Jane by Jefferson Starship. But then when he's in a place where he's, you know, to not use a pun, but when he's losing his mind, he uses the Pixies song. And I think that was a nice touch.
Yes. Yeah, this is yeah, there's very much a how long does match go? It went like about 13 minutes, 13 nearly 14 minutes. It actually went quite a while for a singles match on pay-per-view. Um yeah, I thought this match was like okay. I think it's
Why
don't
didn't
know about
why didn't Trent Beretta win this?
that was what I was about to say. It felt weird that he lost.
What are
It
they
feels
trying
like
to do with the story? Like
feels like
you
they just want to keep Orange over and have him win
but
these
Orange
matches.
Cassidy by at this point is indestructible. He's actually he is a made man in AEW, whereas Trent Beretta needs that
Yeah, he doesn't.
win.
He doesn't need the win. Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't need the. He doesn't need the win. To be honest.
I hope for Trent Beretta's sake, at some point they do a rematch and Trent wins. I think it's needed.
Yes. I would agree with that.
Like, I would hate for this 5-year build up to lead to Trent just getting buried. Like, I think that would be sad. Because it's done so much work with these characters.
Yeah, definitely.
I do also like the fact that Trent's theme starts as the best friends and it turns into his new theme. That was a nice touch.
Yes.
Yeah. So, nice chapter in this story, I guess. Weird to have Orange Cassidy win, but it just didn't. I don't feel like it earned its place on the pay-per-view. That's my main concern.
No, it's again. This could have been a main event of a Dynamite, and that actually would be like really good for them because Trent's not been placed as the guy to have pay-per-view singles matches. So I feel like you need to build him up properly to have it be, naturally integrated. So like having a match in a main event on Dynamite and having him go over, I think actually would have been the better choice.
Yeah.
Because if you're gonna, because you need to make the heel turn actually worthwhile. And this is a thing that seems like a lot of promotions do, where you turn someone who's been a face of relatively decent popularity, but not like massively over. Um, you turn them heel to give them a new, fresh view and perspective for us. But then you don't have them win their first matches. You make them lose, and it's really strange.
Yeah. Then after that, we had the 3-way FTW rules match with Jericho, Hook, and Shibata. The one thing I remember about this match was there was Lego. They put Lego on the floor. Oh, no, sorry, it wasn't Lego, it was dice. My bad. I'm thinking of another match. They put dice on the floor, obviously, because it's a it's a casino-based
That was very
pay-per-view.
fun. That was very fun.
Yeah. I will say Jericho doing the disingenuous babyface thing is better than when he was just a babyface, but it's so.
I just don't care anymore.
He eats up a lot of TV time. That's the main thing.
Yeah, but they're pointing that out though, so that makes it good, right?
I mean, the skits are like they do have some value, but it's just if this was, I feel like if this character was anyone else, maybe I would be enjoying it more than I am. But Jericho is
Yeah,
so done. He's so
so
done.
tainted. Yeah,
Yeah. It's so difficult to, even when he's doing something better than usual, his expiry date is so far past. He needs, I've said this so many times, he needs time off. Just give him fucking time off.
yeah.
If Chris Jericho was a part timer and only did one or two, or three feuds a year,
If he
I would
did
be fine
the
with
big
it.
four, like if he only did the big four,
Mm.
if he did Revolution, Double or Nothing, hell, even Wembley or All Out, whichever one you wanted, probably All In, I imagine.
In full gear.
Yeah, in full gear, that'd be fine, and maybe the occasional other pay per view if it's a big like blood feud.
Yeah,
That's
just like,
fine.
a program, even if it was like a feud that lasts 2 months and then he goes off TV for 2 months. Like just something like that
Yeah,
where his on and off with AEW would work so much better than having him
because the
on
best he's
every week.
been in the past year was that promo with Will Ospreay before Wembley,
Yes,
and that was nearly a year ago.
that's right.
Yeah, I've got nothing else to say on this match. I think it's just a very fun triple threat.
Yeah, it was fun carnage, and I'm glad that Hook is now doing stuff with Samoa Joe. That's way better for him.
Yep, you've also got Brian Keith that interrupted this match
That's
as well.
true. Brian Keith is actually really entertaining at the moment. He's one of the best parts of that act.
I like him. There was a great spot where they both Shibata and Hook hit Jericho with kendo sticks just over and over and over again.
Yeah, that was funny.
And the spot, what I did actually like, and I think it's a good innovative stuff from the guys, was when they went through the table and it didn't break. So Jericho set up in the corner and then put himself through it.
Yes, that was acting on instinct, which was a good idea.
Yeah, you could tell it was on instinct, but it's appreciated. You've also got Big Bill interrupting this match as well, when going through a table on the outside, and one of the metal like legs nearly piercing him. It was quite close.
Yeah, he nearly got
I don't
he
know.
nearly got impaled.
Yeah, that was very scary.
Remember there was that time Seth Rollins nearly got impaled by the Hell in a Cell? Or the steel
That
cage or
was the
whatever it was.
first ever Raw I ever watched.
Mm.
No. That was that. No, you're right. Sorry, that was the steel cage, not Hell in a Cell. The first Raw I watched was the build up to Hell in a Cell. That was the Raw before Extreme Rules,
I think so.
when he won the belt after. So
Yeah.
I got confused because I remember the reason I've got that mixed up is because he RKO'd or what he stomped Randy on that Raw I first watched, and then on that Raw you're talking about, he was feuding against Randy in the build up to Extreme Rules. So
Yeah.
that's why I got confused. That's quite funny actually. Yeah.
Yes.
Now talking about, as JR would call, slobber knockers, we
Yes.
had the match between, which was a
Eliminator
New
match.
Japan World Championship Eliminator match, yeah, between John Moxley and yeah,
Konosuke Takeshita.
yeah. Boy, this was fucking hard hitting. Jesus
Yeah, so
Christ.
so far on the show we'd had the Osprey Strong match. After that, it kind of went through a bit of an okay run, and then we got this match, which brought the pay per view back for me. I loved this.
Moxley is just the fucking best. He's just so good.
Yep, I thought this was on the outside of the Osprey match. I thought the first half of the show was fine, but this fucking ruled. This match was
It's just two guys just
extremely good.
absolutely beating the shit out of each other.
Yep.
Takeshita is just so good, and Moxley is so good.
Yes, Takeshita is. It's not just about the moves as well. It's the expression. I think Takeshita is
The
able
way
to
his
make.
body move, it's that and the body language and expressions in how he does his moves.
Yeah,
He actually makes it seem like he's building up the power to hit him with a forearm, and it actually looks very convincing.
Yes, and it's all the facials as well from both of these guys. They're both such like assassins in the ring.
Yeah.
I also think
Makes you awesome.
now that John Moxley has the Steve Austin bald haircut, it makes him look even more even more tough than he was.
He does not look like
Dean
Dean
Ambrose.
Ambrose from like 2014.
No, that child is dead.
Yeah. He's just great. I'm very glad he's getting this run with the New Japan World Title.
Yeah, the IWGP World Title.
Yeah, it's just very awesome to see.
Yeah, but
And
this
I'm wondering who he's going to face at Forbidden Door.
Oh yeah, I'm fascinated by that. It's got to be someone.
I'm assuming who I generally don't know who it could be. It'll be someone
from New Japan.
Because he technically is New Japan champion, so wouldn't that be? Could they get away with it being an AEW wrestler?
I don't know. They having Will Ospreay face Swerve for the AEW title.
That's true.
I know he's facing Evil at Dominion, or at least he already has. He already has faced him.
Mm-hmm.
I assume it'll be someone else at Forbidden Door. Maybe. Oh, who have they got available? Naito, Shingo. I can't. The New Japan roster has been.
I know Zack Saber's going to be on the show.
Oh yeah, that's true. Zack Saber. Yeah.
I don't know if he's still got like a belt or something.
Yeah, I don't know if New Japan would put their world title on Zack Saber just yet.
They can still have a match though, and John go over.
I think they might.
Because I think they might have a New Japan World Title match at Wembley if they keep the belt on him.
That's a good question. That's a very good point.
I feel like that would be best for both companies involved.
And
he might lose it there against maybe a New Japan guy. Because I feel like that would put not on the map, but like it would put New Japan over in a big marquee match at Wembley.
Yeah, so Moxley defended against Evil in a lumberjack death match.
Well, as you do.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah, Shingo.
Yeah, I think that might be their. I think that might be their plans, and that probably should be their plans. That would be really good for them.
Shingo was the never openweight champion, so it won't be him. I think it could be Naito. It could be Zack Sabre.
They have got 9 weeks till that show, so
yeah. The thing is, the New Japan roster has been desperately gutted recently. Like a lot of their wrestlers have left.
Yeah.
So it just depends really what they go with. But
from my viewpoint, the only credible name from my knowledge, with my very limited knowledge, it would be Zack Sabre Jr.
Zack Sabre Jr. and Tetsuya Naito are the two biggest stars I can think of that would be contenders. Shingo Takagi is also a big star, but he already has another belt.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't do Tanahashi. He's president now. He's too old. Mm-hmm. I mean, look, you could. I mean, you could do it, but why would you? I mean, Moxley has already faced Tanahashi. Like, he's already done it. You don't need to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Okada's in AEW. Nakamura's in WWE. Shibata's in AEW. Like, it's just, yeah, they've been gutted. I mean, I suppose, last year it was Jack Perry versus Sonata, I think.
That wasn't it at Forbidden Door?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant at Wembley. Sorry.
No, I'm talking about the IWGP title.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, like Jay White's also in AEW too. That was another big New Japan star.
Yeah, at the moment, the only name I'm drawn to is Zack Sabre Jr. If that is their plan, obviously they could decide, no, we're not going to do that. But
Zack Sabre versus Moxley is an interesting match, actually.
Yeah, at Wembley, that would be very good.
I think so. Yeah.
I'd be down for it.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what they do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this match was great. Very, very good. These two are awesome.
Yeah. I mean, you could
Yeah,
do. You could do. I mean, I know he's not the most main event guy, but he is really over as a heel. You could do Moxley versus Gabe Kidd from Bullet Club.
Mm.
But he's just funny because he's a shit talker. That's why he's so good. Hiromu Takahashi is a big name. Oh, what about Kenta? I know he's an older name, but he is a known name to the American audience because of the GTS.
Hmm.
He's a potential. What about this is a bit of a curveball. What about someone like a Mustafa Ali? I know he's with TNA and New Japan at the moment. He's been bouncing between them. He's not really signed, so maybe you don't want to use him.
Hmm.
I could see them going with Sonata again. I'm not sure. Yeah, they are kind of limited for options. But like you say, yeah, I mean, Zack Sabre would be a sensible choice at Wembley or Forbidden Door, depending on what you want to do.
True.
Yep. Anyway, do we have anything more to add on the Moxley Takeshita match?
No, it's just very bloody good.
Yeah. Rightio. Up next, we have the barbed wire steel cage match between Adam Copeland, or Brood Edge, really, versus Malachi Black.
Edge.
We have Brood Edge and Malachi Black for the TNT Championship.
This was a very gross match.
You know what's funny about this? Is that in the stipulation it said had Copeland lost, he would have bent the knee and joined the House of Black. It's funny because in this match, he actually ended up bending his knee.
Yeah.
Not in the way he intended.
That stipulation just felt very... obviously, I've not watched the feud, but on paper and looking from it from an outsider, that just feels like very much like, okay, so he's winning.
They tried to tease you, and I think a lot of people believed it, and they were...
No, that was stupid. I'm sorry, that was a really stupid spot. I fucking hated that.
Yeah, why did Buddy Matthews and Brody King tease it?
Just to get the upper hand. He was already on the floor. It's like, why did we need that? It felt like such a... Oh, wouldn't this be an intriguing little spot? And then we swerve them.
Yeah. It was done all for the audience.
Point? What the fuck is the point of that? Fucking wasting my time. The best spot on the match was Gangrel. That was the best.
Oh yeah, Gangrel was so funny.
That and Adam Copeland not diving onto the table, but going legs first and then bucking them onto the mat.
And now he's injured and has had to relinquish his belt.
I'm assuming that surely was the spot he injured himself, right?
Yes, it is. He confirmed it in a video.
Like, that's not like you fucking just jumped. You didn't even lead with your elbow at all. That was a really silly thing.
Yeah, he said in the video, he said he got too cocky and he forgot that he's in his 50s.
Yeah, exactly. Well, mate, most people, I think any age, could fucking injure their legs like that. My guy literally just walked off. It's like, I'm looking at the spot now. He just jumped. That's what he did.
Like a pencil.
And no wonder he got injured. It's like, fucking hell.
If you want to see, if he wanted to do research and see how to actually do it, watch when Jack Perry did it to Luchasaurus at Full Gear 2022, because he did it off the top of the cage, but he did it properly. He actually bent his body the right way.
Yeah, it's almost if you're meant to lean your body. I know I'm not a fucking wrestler. I get it, but just basic like lean your body. Don't just jump off
I mean,
like
I'm not
legs
expecting
first.
I'm not expecting like a Kyrie Sane level elbow drop, but
No, I'm not. Just he generally would be fine if he just bent slightly to his right.
or I don't know, do a splash instead of an elbow drop if it's too
Yes,
hard.
he could have done that. He'd been fine. Obviously, he might not be fine in this fucking pro wrestling, but he could have more chance of being fine.
Yeah, he came down like a stiff pencil.
Yeah, it's so strange. It was just like, why would you do that?
Yeah, but that being said, outside of the getting too ahead of himself and injuring his leg and the weird swerve, I actually quite enjoyed this. Obviously, it was very disgusting because of the whole
Yeah, a lot of blood,
hardcoreness of it, a lot of blood,
wire.
a lot of blood. But I think these two guys told a pretty solid story, and
Yeah, it was a good match.
I loved seeing Malachi Black in singles matches again after all this time.
Yeah, it's nice.
I mean, he's certainly not on the level he was about 5 years ago because he's fucked his back too much. He can't do the same stuff he used to, which is sad.
Mhm.
But still, he can still tell a really good story, regardless. Even if he doesn't do his special lovely moves like he used to. I think I remember someone this week on Twitter, they posted like a highlight reel of one of his matches from 2019, and you can tell the difference in his in-ring style has changed so much since then. Like he used to be so nimble.
Yeah.
I think in NXT that was when he was at his athletic peak. And it was when sort of around those pandemic years that he injured his back so badly that he just had to stop doing it.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, this was a good match.
Yeah. Barbed wire and blood and all sorts of things. Do you think now that in hindsight Adam Copeland got injured, him beating Malachi Black is actually a bit of a curse? Like, do you think they should? Do you think they could have called an audible?
Possibly.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe Tony Khan just doesn't want Malachi Black to have a
Yeah,
singles
it's
belt.
obviously it's they obviously probably wouldn't have known the severity of the injury if he even knew at the time because he still wrestled for a good like what 5 minutes.
Well, on the positive note, at least it wasn't a torn ACL. That would have been way worse.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah,
Yeah, nice to see
yeah, this match
Gangrel.
was good. Yeah, it was. It was very fun.
I was genuinely so shocked when Gangrel was in this. I did not see that coming
Yeah,
at all.
that was. I did not expect that at all.
Yeah. I also, interestingly, he was able to use the Brood. Like, he actually owns the copyright to it. So what does Malachi Black do after losing this? Is the question. Go back to vignettes?
But I don't know. It's just because I imagine he won't have another singles match for a good while. I'd imagine.
Yeah, because I guess they've just decided that his spine can't take it.
No. Yeah. Who knows?
I mean, maybe if he hadn't signed such a long contract, he could go back to the Fed and have softer matches. If he was back in WWE, do you think he would be used? I know Triple H is a fan of him, but do you think with his back injuries he'd be used? It's hard to say. Like, I know that he has value, but at the same time, like on the WWE side, the roster is also really stacked as well at the moment. Mm. It's a shame because I think he is an amazing all-round talent, but I just don't know where he fits in.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, now we get to the supposed triple main event.
Yeah.
So we start with the TBS Championship. We have Mercedes Moné versus Willow Nightingale. Little statistical fact, I don't know if you knew this. This is the longest women's match in AEW history. This went 18 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh. I mean, on one hand, that is good, but 18 minutes is... When considering there's 3 matches on this that are 20 plus, that are men's matches.
Yep.
I mean, it took 5 years to go longer than... What was the previous record, do you know?
Oh, it wasn't that much less than this. It was probably about 16 or 17, but this is the longest one.
That's poor. That should have been broken a long time ago.
Even the Casino Battle Royal was shorter than this.
Really?
Yep.
Are they famously short?
No. Well, the men's ones aren't short.
Yeah. Really, 5 years to get an 18-minute women's match.
Yep.
Literally 5 years. Literally 5 years.
Yeah, Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker, those 2 massive matches they had were under 18 minutes.
I mean, on one hand, that's great, but on the other hand, it's there should have been a match that was over 20 minutes by now.
Oh, actually, no, I'm wrong. The Casino Battle Royal was 21 minutes. I think this is the longest singles match.
Right, fair enough, but still, the longest
singles match. It's the longest singles
or
match.
Even for whatever. Fucking hell, that's poor.
Anyway, with that said, I thought look, I make no bones about it. I said this in my top 25 wrestlers thing we did on the advent calendar. Sasha Banks Mercedes is my favorite women's wrestler. And one of the reasons why is I think she has the best matches consistently. I think her in-ring style mixed with her ability to tell stories, her intensity, and her adaptability to all opponents puts her so high up for me in terms of her status as a performer. No, she's not the greatest promo of all time. Sometimes her promos can be a bit weird.
But very hit and miss.
Yeah, very hit and miss. Sometimes they're really good, sometimes not so much.
Sometimes they're shite.
Yeah. Presentation, she's pretty on point most of the time. Presentation-wise, she knows how to make an entrance for sure. On this show, she certainly made a great entrance. But in terms of matches, I don't think there is a women's wrestler that is better than her. I think there's some that you could argue are as good as. And I've been
Charlotte is on it. When Charlotte's actually on it on pay-per-view and is fully invested in a match, she can be one of the best in the world.
100%, 100%. But Mercedes beats her when it comes to TV wrestling for sure. TV wrestling with ad breaks, there's no one better. And also pay-per-views as well. All combined. I mean, at least, okay, I'll say this much. She's, in my opinion, the best American women's wrestler. There's women from Japan who are at the very top. But we're talking about American wrestling. For me, she is the cream of the crop. And I think this match, for me, really affirms her AEW arrival. Because up to this point, there's been a lot of skepticism about it because it's been all promos. And there has been some issues along the way, but I think it's all been worth it because now you get a match like this, and you get the match she had with, I think her name's Steph Van Keer on Dynamite, which also has gotten good reviews. This, for me, is where the investment in Mercedes being in AEW is worth it for Tony Khan, because I think in ring, she is the best in the world in the women's area. in America, and I thought this match ruled. I thought this actually might. No, I don't know. I think the most fun match for me was the main event, but I think in terms of bell to bell, I think this was the best match on the card for me. I thought this was a. It was so good on so many fundamental levels, from the chemistry they had together, the in-ring storytelling, and just the overall structure. Everything worked so well, and the intensity. It was very intense. Yeah. So this is a big thumbs up for me. What did you think?
Yeah, I like the match a lot. I think the story that was told, from both wrestlers and the outside, was actually told very well. It's not my favorite match on the card. That would probably be the Moxley match. I just fucking, that kind of wrestling of like sluggish, Slobberknocker, hard hitting is fucking that's my jam. But this was still very good. I think this is probably the best she's looked since she's been in AEW. It feels weird with the whole Nightingale winning the belt, like a month ago at Dynasty, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's who did she face? I can't remember who she faced.
Julia Hart.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They did that so they could do this match because it's a rematch from New Japan.
It is, yeah. Yeah, and the match was perfectly good. I think it was a very, very good match. I think they told a very decent story. And with hopefully she can have a good run. But with this, obviously, after this, we had a double heel turn of, Chris Statlander.
Well, I mean, Stokely Hathaway was already a heel all along.
True,
to be honest,
but it's a massive.
He's been keeping
Statlander
it.
Hasn't been heel before.
No, she hasn't. Not in AEW. Yeah. She may have been in Creative Pro, but she's definitely not in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Stokely was kind of keeping his heel character under wraps for this storyline. He was pretending to be a babyface. I think that's what they were doing. But I have been saying that it's probably time for Statlander to turn heel because she's never done it and she needs something new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree. Definitely. Yeah, it'll be a good change for her. That.
Yep.
Keeps her fresh.
I want to say one of my favorite parts of this match, it was a combination that happened. Mercedes springboard off the ropes, went into a wheelbarrow. Willow went to reverse it into a German. Mercedes wrung out of it into an arm drag, and everything was perfectly executed. I was genuinely so surprised at the way that, because Willow is a really, I don't know if girthy is the right word, but she's a powerhouse wrestler. There's a lot of body to muscle around when you're on the opposite end. The way that Mercedes was able to effortlessly wrestle with Willow in this match was exceptional, I thought. And I would say that, I mean, there was a lot of training videos of her before this pay-per-view of Mercedes really pushing herself in the build up to it. I get the impression that she really wanted to push the boundaries with this match, and I definitely think it was examples like that where, because sometimes when you get a match between two wrestlers of very different body types, you can get a situation where there's too much leverage or not enough leverage, and it can look awkward when they sequence moves. I remember that happened. I can't remember who it was, but it did happen a couple of years ago in an AEW pay-per-view match. But with this, everything felt like they were very well prepared for it. Another moment I really liked was when Willow did the gut-wrench powerbomb onto the apron, which was great. Catching Mercedes from a suicide dive into that position and then just wrenching her around and slamming her was exceptional. I think they did a great job at showcasing Willow's strength in this match, but also showcasing Mercedes' finesse. Yeah. And all the small details were really well done, like in terms of just strategy from Mercedes by having her to have her believably beat Willow through sheer strategy and experience is important because it shows why she's able to win this. Also, I remember on the first EWAB we did Undertaker vs Kurt Angle, the match famous for all its ankle lock reversals. There was one of those in this match, which I loved. So yeah. Also, Willow's pounce is another great move that I always love to see, especially when you get someone who can sell on that level.
Definitely.
But yeah, I was very, very pleased. And I am looking forward to her match at Forbidden Door with I can't remember what her name is, but it's one of the Stardom wrestlers. Because the one she faced on Dynamite was from CMLL. Steph Van Kier, I believe it is. Unless I'm mistaken, it's someone else. Sorry, no. The one she's facing at Forbidden Door is Stephanie Van Kier. She faced another one. I think it's the one starting with Z. It's like Zeuxis or something. I don't know how to pronounce it because it's in Spanish, but yeah, I'll be looking forward to seeing that because I've heard very good things about Stephanie Van Kier. So yeah, that is to look forward to. And also, it's a winner-takes-all match for both the TBS Championship and the New Japan Strong Women's Championship. And I know that Mercedes has plans to work in both AEW, but also in Japan as well. So yeah, that's fascinating. What I'm really interested to know is who is she going to face at Wembley?
No idea, really.
Some people think it's going to be Saraya. I don't know if that's the right choice. Oh, okay. Imagine this won't happen, but imagine if it was Becky Lynch. That would be crazy. Imagine if she actually signed with AEW. I highly doubt it. Anyway, so yeah, do you have any last thoughts on Willow versus Mercedes?
No, just very good match.
Yeah. Hopefully they can AEW can have a 20-minute singles match with the women at some point.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Right. Next match for the AEW World Championship, we have Swerve Strickland versus Christian Cage. I think one of my favorite things about the build up to this match is that they respected the continuity of the show by having Christian Cage saying, "I didn't forget what you did to Nick Wayne last year." Because if we remember, Swerve was a heel, around Wembley last year, and him and I believe it was AR Fox as well. They didn't really mention that because AR Fox is just irrelevant now. But Swerve went to not Nick Cage, fucking Nicolas Cage. He went to Nick Wayne's house and he bloodied him up in his own ring. And Christian Cage, being the honorable and lovable father he is he's here to defend his son.
Yes.
And like you said at the last show, you missed having Christian Cage as a character in AEW, but now he got a main event world title match with Swerve on this show.
Yeah, this fucking hell, there were some brutal spots that made my windpipe, shiver. The thing that stood out to me most, the one spot that stood out to me most was, I think, was the attempt of putting Swerve onto the steps, and he maneuvers out of it, and then jumps and stamps on Cage's upper chest on the apron, and it looked fucking gnarly. It looks so awful to take.
Yeah.
that generally made me just wince. It was so fucking brutal as well. He hit him with so much force. It was crazy. I'm just about to look at it now again and just fucking hell. His head like rattles as well. Jesus, that was awful to take. And
Yeah,
then after that,
nasty.
Swerve fucking goes into the steps part of the steps.
Yep.
Yeah, this match, I actually really enjoy this match quite a bit. I actually think it was better than I thought it'd be because this match on paper, I think, it probably didn't excite a lot of people as a first title defense for Strickland, but I actually think they delivered pretty well with this match.
Yeah, one fun fact: Floyd Mayweather was at ringside for this.
Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed him at ringside after he again Strickland did the same move but on the table.
Yeah, I know that I saw in the press conference Swerve is trying really hard to bring AEW into the mainstream with his world title reign,
Yes.
and that's
Oh,
very
yeah.
commendable. I mean, he is the man right now. Like he is so good at everything. He's been
Absolutely.
ever since I would say Wembley. I think he's been on an absolute tear. Ever since he came out of that coffin that Sting put him in, he's been the guy. Zombie Swerve. Yeah, so I understand why they didn't put this as the main event match. I think it is a big match, but it's not the biggest match on the show. I do hope that that with Swerve they do start to feature his world title reign a bit more prominently. Because I don't want him to feel like a B level champion. Because he deserves to be. But I hope that Swerve main events Wembley. Like he is the last match on the show. I think that would be great.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. That'd be good.
Yeah, so I think, and especially if they're gonna do Swerve versus Danielson, I think it has to main event Wembley. I think that match could be extraordinary.
Yeah. I thought the finish of this match was bloody great. The mid air sort of running kick to the head as Cage was running at him was fucking awesome. Those kind of
Yep.
the finishes that you can hit out of nowhere when they're running towards you always look the best. They look
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
Yeah. A running strike is a very easy way
That's
to
why
do it.
stuff like the Claymore I think is fucking like one of the best finishes around right now.
The Bazaiku knee attack has always been a great
Mhm.
one, and the Sweet Chin music as well, obviously.
Absolutely. I think Claymore is my favorite of those at the moment.
Yeah, well, it's funny how the Claymore was made by accident as well. Where he went for a big boot and he slipped over during his independent run.
It's such a good, just running boot to the face. It always
Yeah.
looked great.
You know what's another finishing? It's not a running strike, but a finishing move I fucking love is Kenta's go to sleep. It's the most just disgusting looking knee to the face. It's so just I mean, I think the Japanese guys in general do great finishes because of the sheerness of their striking.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Actually, that's probably at some point down the line. That's probably a video we could do as our favorite finishing moves because there's so many to choose from.
Oh yeah, that's like literally millions.
Yeah, the overdrive.
That's my number one. What do you mean?
What was it? Sullivan did that rant about the ultimate splash and how it just looks like he does a big like stiff drop of his body. He just runs and goes wee. Yeah, but Swerve retained. There was some good attention to detail as expected from these two. So yeah, good stuff. And then 4 hours into the show, we have Anarchy in the Arena, which went half an hour. It was the Elite versus Team AEW.
This match turned into a concert at one point.
Yeah, this match was absolutely batshit insane, and Anik on the Arena
Mm.
always is, but I feel like this one was even more insane than the previous
Like,
two.
dude, Darby Allin jumps off at the final countdown like chorus. It's like fucking insane.
Yeah, they played the final countdown. They played they fuck, it was so.
Darby Allin's theme as he came in. They then played the Young Bucks' theme.
And everyone
for the
booed.
fucking then
Everyone
final
booed.
countdown.
Even though I will say it is actually a good song, good Mikey Ruckus song. But then they played Final Countdown and the Young, but like Matt Jackson was like, that costs us 200,000 every time we play it.
That was really funny. That was really funny.
Yeah, I thought this match was so entertaining. It was so fun
It was
to
so
watch.
funny. It was such a funny
Yeah.
match. Dude, they held Darby Allin by his legs.
Yeah, like I thought he was like, dude,
Yeah.
how long can he survive before he dies, like hanging upside down like that?
It probably could be a while, but yeah, it's
Oh yeah, and despite the fact that Darby Allin had he had a foot injury and then he got run over by a bus, and then in this match he got run over again. And he had a face mask that came off, and they did bloody thumbtack super kick to his broken nose.
I think though, spot of the match was Jack Perry going backstage and dragging out Tony Khan.
Yes! Oh my god, it was fucking hilarious.
I hate to admit it, I think they have turned it around with Perry.
Genuinely, I think his excursion in New Japan has actually done him a lot of good. I think he's
it really puts like into perspective how like fine but not great his original heel turn character was.
Well, it's funny, the CM Punk thing really has given him something to do, and that whole when he did New Japan Windy City, he came out in Chicago with the flag, with the how his attire, his pants had broken glass on it, like as the texture, and then he had the scapegoat and Crimea River. He's built an entire character out of that one incident that happened at Wembley.
Yeah, and that turning something into gold.
The shit-eating grin, and also being associated with the Bucks and Okada has helped him grow as well.
Yeah. He also got set on fire.
Yes! Oh my Jesus Christ, fucking Darby came up with a flamethrower and actually set him on fire.
They had their Eddie Kingston moment there.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Yeah, this match was fucking insane.
Yeah, I mean, that was the one thing missing from this match was Eddie Kingston.
Covered in blood.
Like Trevor from GTA. But you're right.
They did also have an exploding chair.
They did have an exploding chair.
This match was like the right amount of like goofy wrestling nonsense.
And I loved when Bryan Danielson's like, play the best fucking song.
Yeah. Bryan Danielson, when he's goofy, like, because he can not only can he play like psychotic wrestling machine, but he also can play an insanely great goofy character in wrestling. He can literally, he's such a wrestling chameleon, which is like one of the best things you can have to be a top guy.
You are right though. When Jack Perry like looked at the camera and smiled, and then he grabbed Tony Khan by the scruff and threw him on the ramp, I was laughing so hard.
Yeah, it was great.
It
genuinely was great.
Funniest thing ever. I also loved in terms of continuity how at the press scrum he had Tanahashi next to him to protect him from danger. Because he's been so threatened.
You also had the fucking thumbtack sleeve for the Rainmaker.
Yes. Oh my. That's another thing, is the fact that they've gone full elite with Okada, like the comedy with Okada.
No, generally, it's like one of the best things in the company. Without doubt, Okada generally is like doing some insanely good stuff.
Because Okada's been doing.
It feels like this is a side of him that has never been seen before. Like
exactly,
Okada.
Exactly.
At least in the modern setting, yeah.
Ironic to say because it's not like the company to say it, but it is basically Okada is now getting a chance to do sports entertainment. If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
But he's doing it in the AEW way.
Yeah.
But yeah, Okada has been amazing. He was great in this match too. He looked like he was having so much fun. I mean, everyone was. It was so just just funny. Like the whole thing was
It
so
was really
entertaining.
good.
Like
Super
when
good.
okay, so when people say why wrestling needs alternatives, the reason why a company like AEW needs to exist is because you can't get a match like this in WWE. You can't. Like sponsors won't allow it, advertisers won't allow it.
No.
The company's sort of like protected image doesn't like matches like this, and AEW is the company that can do a match like this, and it's so much fun. It's so good. I think, honestly, I think Anarchy in the Arena has become one of my favorite stipulations in AEW because it's been great every year they've done it. I mean,
Yeah, it's been pretty good.
Stadium Stampede is already a great
Oh
stipulation
my
in
god, I
itself.
totally forgot about the spot where they put Darby on the stage on the elevator and let it and they just made it sink.
Yes, that was fucking hilarious. They just like, let's get rid of
So
it.
clever.
Then put the Tron back down.
That was so good.
Oh my god. This is, I mean, this is right. This is the Young Bucks in a nutshell though. They are some of the most
This is
creative
when they
guys.
actually like are on point because there are times where they do this and it doesn't work. But this is the times when it does work, when the goofiness that is being booked actually
Yes.
works.
There's a time and the place for their style, and this is the exact match where they are perfect in it. Like that this is
Yeah, not
when they
running around the
thrive.
ring after Punk didn't fight.
Yeah, no, that
Yeah,
was silly. But this was like
this is the silly you should be
this
doing.
is the best kind of silly, and as you said, Darby Allin being hung upside down on the ceiling cord was just maybe after a bit of time, you know, when time's passed. I'd love to do a watch through of the Anarchy in the Arena / Stadium Stampede matches in AEW
Yeah, that'd be
because
good. That'd be good.
I think that'll be a fun marathon because they're just so they're so insane.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I actually haven't seen the pandemic one.
I
The
haven't
one
either. There's a lot of the pandemic one
I know that
haven't seen.
it's the one when Hangman rides the horse. I know that because they did it in an empty stadium, and Hangman Page rides a horse on a field, which sounds fun. Also, Bryan Danielson doing a running knee with the steel chair in front of his knee was crazy. But yeah, the Elite got the win. I think that was the right result. And as just like Anarchy in the Arena last year, because last year they had Wheeler Yuta pin Kenny Omega, which was a massive deal, which was a really great thing to do. And on this one, they had Jack Perry pin Bryan Danielson, which again, just putting over the young star as they should. I'm very impressed at how in the last year, you know, after a bit of a false start, they've been able to turn Jack Perry around, and now he's finally sort of found himself as a heel. And also, Darby Allin is a crazy motherfucker. How is he alive? He was hung upside down for like ages. Absolutely ages. The crowd was chanting, "Please help Darby." Bleeding from the head, hung upside down, broken nose, run over by a bus, broken foot. Like, what the? This guy is indestructible. But yes, that was AEW Double or Nothing 2024. Yeah, so sort of overall final thoughts, and then looking forward to Clash at the Castle and Forbidden Door.
Yeah, yeah. I always look forward to Forbidden Door because it's always a great clash of stars and different wrestlers.
This year we'll have
But then also,
CMLL and Stardom as well, which will be make it bigger.
yes. That actually would be that's going to be very good. And then after that, it's the road to Wembley again. It
That's
doesn't
right.
feel like it's been a year. It really
What?
doesn't.
Well, it technically hasn't been a year. It has been a year since
You
Collision
know what I mean?
started
Like, it
this
doesn't
weekend,
feel
though.
like we're already. Well, it's like because like we've got 9 weeks pretty much until Wembley, and it doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like it's
The
been nearly a year.
the first episode of Collision this Saturday will have been 1 year ago.
See, that doesn't feel like it was a year ago. It feels like it was like 8 months ago.
Mm.
That's crazy. Those first, those first couple of weeks, man. Those first 2 months.
The first 11 weeks of Collision. The first
Yeah,
11 to
really
12.
good.
I think the episode after Punk gets fired is also quite good as well. I remember watching that. That's the one with Darby Allin versus Roderick Strong, where they did all that backbreaking on the turnbuckle. That was great. But yes, the first 11 weeks of Collision when Punk was there, that was some good shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we do already have like matches like semi-confirmed for that as well.
Or
Forbidden Door.
Vendor. Yeah, we do. We do.
We got Moxley versus Naito. We
Mhm.
have Saber Jr. against Orange Cassidy. We've got Monet against Stephanie
Van Kier.
Vankier.
Yeah.
Vankier against La Catalina. Catalina. Strickland obviously against Osprey. Then there's Jack Perry, Takashia, Briscoe, Mark Briscoe, Dante Martin, or Lee Moriarty versus two other competitors in the ladder match for the vacant TNT Championship.
Mm. Yes.
And then it's Tony Storm versus
Mina Shirakawa.
Shirakawa. Yeah, you go for
That's
the
that's
women's
the
championship.
that's the breastfeeding feud I told you about.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, so there already some really good stuff on there.
I like what they've done where Mariah May requested Tony Khan to put her as the valet for both women on the graphic. I think that I'm really intrigued for that match because she's going to be torn between them. Between her idol and her, her Japan sister, if you will. Her older sister from Japan. There's been a lot of
match really good.
There's been a lot of shaking tits, is what I'll say, on Dynamite.
Do you think Jack Perry wins the TNT Championship?
Oh,
I think he might.
maybe we'll save it for the predictions.
Well, we've got like 2 weeks before that.
In a couple of days, though, we'll be predicting Clash at the Castle.
Well, you won't be.
Oh, well, I won't be. You and Regan will be. I'll be there. I'm looking forward to that show specifically for the main event.
Oh yeah. That's gonna be fucking a very good show, I imagine.
I
So
always
I don't think. Yeah.
I have a morbid fascination for shows when CM Punk gets booed as well. Remember Forbidden Door last year when he got booed in
Kojima Lariat Kojima.
They hated CM Punk on that show. Oh my god.
Honestly, I'm looking forward to all of those matches. It's gonna be I don't know if it could could it be better than Wales Clash of the Castle?
That one was in a stadium. It had Gunther versus Sheamus. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Roman versus Drew was.
4 of those matches could be legitimately fucking show stealers.
Yeah, I mean, I think people might be surprised by Pipe and Evan on that show.
Oh,
I think
absolutely. Yeah, that's what I mean. I think that could always be like the biggest sleeper here of them all.
Yeah, it could be a best main roster match he's ever had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Cody's and Styles could legitimately be like a fucking bloodbath.
Yes. Yes, an NWA bloodbath.
I think Drew and Priest could be a very underrated match if they give it good time.
Oh, but CM Punk's going to be involved, so it'll be great no matter what.
Exactly, and then Zayn and Gable. That's going to be great on pay-per-view.
Yes.
Even the triple threat tag match could be fun. because it's got Shayna Baszler and Jade and Belair.
That's right.
Yeah, that's gonna be good. That's gonna be a good show, and it'll be at a normal time.
Yeah, it's true.
Let's check what time it actually is. I'm assuming it'll be like 5:30 or 6 my time.
We'll have a look.
I shall. Yeah, 6:30 my time. That'll be nice. Good little
Oh, is that
evening of
5:30?
that.
Is that 5:30 a.m. for me? I think.
Might be.
Ugh, Jesus Christ! I could watch it before work actually,
Mm.
if I wake up that early.
Yes. Yes, that'll be. I'm assuming that's pre-show, and the main card will start at 7.
Okay, 6 to 9. Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, it'll be like 2.5 hour show, maybe 3 hours.
Usually they go 3. The
Well, the
WWE.
last couple have been like 2.5.
Really?
Yeah, if I check, at least one of them in the last recent ones was 2.5.
Okay.
If I go, I'll go have a do check, but obviously it ranges from 2.5 to 3. Yeah, okay, it's like 2:50, 2 hours 50.
Yeah, that's 3 hours.
Yeah, fair
I mean,
enough.
to be fair though, with the amount of product placement they do, you could say it's 2.5.
Yeah, the only pay-per-views that have been like other than Mania, yeah, they've only gone like 3.5 hours for Elimination Chamber, under 3 hours Survivor Series, 3.5 Crown Jewel, 2:50 for yeah, it's around that 3 hour mark
Yeah.
unless it's a big show.
I watched OSW reviews WrestleMania, the 2 videos they did, and I relived that whole pay-per-view all over again, and my God, what a
especially
show.
the main event.
My God, what a show that was.
Yeah, that main event was awesome.
Apart from like the middle of night 1, which was crap, but we'll forget about that.
Yeah, but how many super kicks do you want in a match?
Oh, God, Jimmy versus Jay.
Get off your
Jesus.
fucking
It's weird because WrestleMania 40 is probably going to end up being pay-per-view of the year, but Jimmy vs. Jay is like one of the worst pay-per-view matches of the year.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think both are deserving.
Yeah.
Of respectful.
Also,
rewards.
like, fucking, I can't, it's been a while since I thought about it, but Jesus Christ, The Rock was so good in that match. Holy
he really
shit.
turned around. Thank God.
It's the best in-ring performance in like over 20 years, probably since Austin at WrestleMania 19. Like that's how long it's been since he was that good in the ring.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. But that's a discussion for another stream.
That's right.
For 2 streams. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was AEW Double or Nothing 2024. We'll see you all next time for Clash at the Castle and Forbidden Door. Bid you good night and a goodbye. Bang.